see. Dan, just introduce yourself quickly, please.
Oh, yes. Hi, Dan Rosignol, Edison Northwest, at large.
We call the meeting to order at 12:08. I'm sorry for saying. Thank you. Kim Farnham from
I'll
New
put you on
Haven.
speaker, okay? One moment.
Kim Farnham from New Haven, chairperson, community at large member from
Can you hear us, Judd?
Mount Abraham School District.
All right, Judd Markowski is also on. He has on speakerphone, so he can hear. He just can't see.
Okay. Vance, could you introduce yourself, please?
Okay. Hi, this is Dan Rosignol, Addison resident, Addison Northwest at large.
Thank you. Vance Bishop.
You might be muted, Vance.
Yes. I think he's muted.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can, yes.
Okay. This is Vance Bishop, Middlebury at large.
Thank you. Laura.
Laura Harthan, ACSD representative to the board, Middlebury resident.
Thank you. Steve O.
Steve Orzak, Middlebury resident, ACSD, board appointee and vice chair.
Anybody? Christina.
Christina Macklin, Addison Northwest School Representative, District, and from North Petersburg.
David, to introduce yourself, please.
David Roberts, Director of Operations.
Thank you. Austin's in the background.
Austin Haynes, business manager.
Thank you. Who am I missing? Anybody?
Nicole McTavish, superintendent and director. Wendy Pratt, assistant director.
And they're in the room with me. Thank you.
And you got
Who is the Middlebury Community Television? That's what is that? Is that
that's Drew.
It's Drew.
Drew?
Thank you, Drew. Drew's recording. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Oh, good. I think we got everybody. Okay, I need a motion to approve this agenda.
So moved.
And that is
Dan Rosignol.
Dan. Thank you.
Second, Steve Orzak.
Thank you, Steve. Public comment regarding the agenda today. Anybody have? I
Do
don't
we have to vote on the motion?
Yes, we do. Thank you for that
Yep.
reminder. All those in favor of the motion accepting this agenda, please raise your hand or say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you, Christina. Public comment for the agenda items only. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the action items. We have 4 listed. We'll approve or disapprove all of those one at a time, please. So first one is approval of the North Campus contract. Dave, do you want to take
Yep.
that?
So I'm going to share screen with you guys very quickly. See, let me find the right screen. Okay, here we go. Can everybody see this presentation?
All we see is trees.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Oh, hold on. Let me share it again. Oh, allow. How about now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So what we're doing is, if you guys remember, we approved the $616,000 contract to do the roof and to do the ERUs. This is the remainder, 360 some odd thousand. I'm just going to go through a really quick presentation to show you what we are doing for the rest of this. So we've already got the roof. We've got the energy recovery units. We're adding a variable air volume and variable frequency drive. These are to upgrade the HVAC systems to manage cold air inflow and outflow. And what it's basically doing is putting all of the different sections on different zones. Right now, we're all on one zone. So it's basically able to put in new zones and upgrade the HVAC system. I'll probably just go through these quickly and then we'll talk about them with questions. The next is the controls for the HVAC system. This is upgrading all the software, allowing us to manage each zone separately and replace all of the obsolete wiring and controls and relays and all that kind of stuff. ADA doors, because we are doing some work, we have to make the doors ADA. So this is just a process to make the doors so you can push the buttons and they move, which is code. Video intercom system. This is allow us to better manage how people get into the building, both when someone's sitting at the front desk, they can open the door like we can here, as well as there's notifications. If no one's in that office, there's notifications that allow the teachers to know that someone's in the building by a page so that they can come to the building and open. Exterior lighting, we realized that the lighting in the building needed upgrading very badly, or on the outside, so they're upgrading the existing lights to LED. Windows and gaskets, lots of issues with the windows. They're replacing all the seals. So these windows are 20-something years old. All the rubber around them have rotted. And so they're taking them and adjusting that. They're also doing the ones here at main campus, because I think you guys remember this winter we had some problems with snow coming in. So it's a relatively cheap cost for a big benefit. So we decided to add the main campus windows to this too. Hot water storage, we're just taking this storage tank out because we don't really need it, and it was $30,000 to replace it, and it's going to fail soon. So we are taking that out, and now we just have a hot water heater like everybody else has in their home. There's no storage of hot water to keep it warm. What it means is it just takes a little longer for the hot water to get to the spigot if you're trying to use hot water. Hot water usage is minimal. We're upgrading the paging system. So one of the security issues is that no one can hear a page. No one can hear like if we're doing a lockdown, those kind of things. So we're upgrading the whole system so that it's flashes lights if there's a page to get people's attention, and does a buzzer and is a louder upgraded system. And that's being carried out into the barn as well. Kitchenette, we're just putting in a small kitchen in the back, just a sink and a refrigerator and a microwave. Grounds work, we're adding a fiber optic cable to the barn so that we can have a phone out there, as well as the new paging system. And they're putting upgrading the gravel and doing space where we can park the poultry trailer in the back, as well as resurfacing, or not resurfacing, but doing patching of the pavement where there's some significant holes, and doing some work in the gravel parking lot in the back. Sound remediation, just $1,000 to add some sound proofing to the wall that's upstairs into Anna Jo's sustainable ag classroom. When all the systems kick on, it's pretty loud. And so we're just trying to mitigate some of that. There's some other mitigating issues that we can do on our own, but this is just for them to hang sound retardant plant panels on the wall. Fiber, I mentioned fiber to the barn. Updating all the doors, so just weather stripping, safety seals, efficiency improvements for all the bay doors. Rekeying the system, the same system, the same keys have been there for 20 years, so they recommended since we're doing this, to just go ahead and rekey the entire, all the doors and locks of the building. The blinds, we went back and forth with this. There's a lot of, this is not really for aesthetics. So upstairs classroom gets very, very hot when the sun's shining on it, as well as the downstairs office. So the blinds are energy efficient and will increase the energy efficiency of the building by preventing the sun from heating up the buildings as much. And we're not doing the fire alarm update. We're going to pass on that. So if I show you, if I move that there, can you see the price breakdown?
Yes.
Okay. So the total price, 362, 300, is what we are signing I'm asking for permission to sign a contract for that amount.
Who is the contract with, David?
It's EEI. It's the same folks that's been
Yep.
doing this building. Yep. So if there are any questions, let's talk about that. If not, I'd like to see if anybody will propose a motion.
I can't see if anybody's got.
Steve has a question.
Steve has a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, where is this money coming from? The 362,000? Could you refresh us on that?
Sure. The next topic that we're going to be talking about is approving $1 million lease agreement with US Bank. The total project is, it's really actually 5,000 less than, it's $995,000.
How much? 900 what?
995,000.
Thank you.
Would it be possible to talk about the finance before we vote on this motion? I mean, it seems a little bit
Sure.
cart before the horse.
Sure, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, hold on, I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute. Okay, so what I'm showing you is a resolution to execute $1 million lease. Interestingly, this resolution does not have the interest rate. The interest rate is 4.93%, and for 15 years. I guess I'll just entertain questions that you might have.
I'm sorry, what was the name of the bank again?
We're leasing it with Municipal Leasing Consultants. They're the broker. The actual lease is with US Bank.
Municipal leasing, I'm sorry, what was the,
Consultants.
thank you. That's who we're actually signing the document with,
Yes.
not the bank, right?
Would we close? This is a resolution to lock it in. And then once we actually close, this resolution is doing is allowing Nicole to sign the lease with US Bank once that to actually close the loan. Go ahead, Steve.
Could you boil down like how much annual interest is that going to be? How much are the monthly payments or whatever the payments are on this? I'd like to get a bottom line on how this is going to impact our budget.
Sure. All right, if I move that there, can you see the new
Yes.
document? Okay, so it's $1 million, 4.93% interest, it'll be $96,277 per year for 15 years. And if you want to look at the breakdown, interest is going to be in the first year, which the first payment will actually be due in May of 2027. It'll be 49,300 in interest and 46,000 in principal. And we'll change as we pay the loan off to be obviously more principal, less interest. At the end of the day, we'll be paying 438,000 in interest for a total of 1,438,000 total cost. What we did as far as the budget, Nicole and I went through, because our original budget was $78,000 we had allocated to this, because we were thinking it would be a 20-year lease. They were not, the bank did not want to lease money for $1 million for 20 years. They do, when it's $1 million or less, they would prefer to do 15 years. And so we reviewed the budget and figured out with some changes how to include the $96,000 in the FY27 budget. Any other questions?
I see no other questions.
Seeing there are no other questions, at this point in time, I would entertain a motion.
So we want a motion to approve the resolution for the $1 million lease. And then we need a motion to approve the $362,000 it's a change order to the contract that we've already approved for EEI.
Do we not need any competing bids on that, on the EEI bid?
They've done all that. They've done all the competing bids and went out to bid and got the competing bids and we've selected the vendors, et cetera. That's already been done.
Okay, so they're project managing it. They're not actually, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Were they surprised by the costs of any of these things? I mean, was it pretty much in line with what they expected or?
I think I was more surprised in the cost of the controls and the air movement upgrades. That was a surprise, and we got two very strong estimates, and they were both very similar, and we kind of moved them around a little bit to get them to where we need to be. The issue is the controls and the systems that we put in was 20 years old. And if we don't upgrade those, even though the building is efficient, the systems are not efficient. So, I think what this is going to do is it adds, because we have more airflow and we control the airflow and there's timers that turn the air on and off, it's going to control the quality of the air and the efficiency of heating and cooling.
Okay, yeah, controls are expensive. I understand that. Just, I just want to make sure that we've got a competitive bids on those things. So, okay.
Just call the question.
David, I have one question. What is the original contract with EEI, the amount of that contract?
600 and let me just pull it up real quick. 616,000. Let me just pull it up and I'll get you an exact number.
So I guess hence the $1 million borrow then, right?
Right.
Okay.
And at the April board meeting, we approved the 616 for the roof and the ERUs.
Great, thank you.
Again, I'm still looking for a motion.
So moved that we approve what, first the amendment to the contract or the loan, which,
I think the resolution was first for the $1 million lease.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Maybe you can make that motion.
Sure, I'll make the motion to approve the resolution for the $1 million, in the amount of $1 million, for the lease agreement with Municipal Leasing Consultants. Oh, that was sloppy, sorry.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. Again, any questions?
Go ahead, Steve.
Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know that this is a question so much as an observation. We have been selling the expense of the Career Center, talking about how we've been saddled with an $8 million bond issue, and that it's what's really kind of tying our hands over the tuition that we're charging. And now we're adding another $1 million, which looks like it's going to be $100,000 a year payment. And this is really, we're up in the, we've almost got loans in excess of twice our annual budget. And that's really a difficult place for me to support. I understand that all these facilities need to be updated, but man, I'm worried about not just the optics as one of the most expensive career centers in the state, but the actual impact on our bottom line when we talk about this in finance. So I don't know. I mean, I know we need the facilities. We definitely need the roof and the air handlers. And I'm not going to sit here and argue that we don't need the other things that are happening. I have to raise the question of, is this fiscally responsible? Because it puts us, in my opinion, it puts us in a very untenable financial situation. So,
Any other comments or questions?
Is the payment doable? I know it's higher than we expected on. Where is that coming from? Where's that difference coming from? You know, we had anticipated a lower interest rate and a longer payment.
Right.
So now up at around 90 or $100,000 a year, where are we compared to where we were?
It's the annual cost is $18,000 more than we passed in the budget. We passed 76,000 in the budget, and this is I'm sorry, we passed 78,000 in the budget, and this is going to be 96. So it's another additional 18,000 in payments. I mean, it saves us $100,000 because we're paying it off in 15 instead of 20 years.
I think it's also important to remember that the board has already essentially okayed this through the budgeting process. This was part of our budget that we took to the voters, which they approved.
I would say, just Steve, to your question, the controls, the largest part of this new addition is the $220,000 of the controls upgrades, which really comes along with the ERUs that we've already contracted for. So the majority, I mean, some of this other stuff that we're doing, the ADA doors are required, the video, so in that, of the additional 360,000, 245,000 is just required because we're doing this work. The other things, door intercom, exterior lighting, we could certainly hold off on all of that and do that later. it's because it's just another 120 grand. But it certainly, to me, certainly is much more efficient and easier to do while we have all the lifts there and all the people are there and construction's there. But I'm happy to entertain.
No, I guess my question is that $18,000, where's that coming from? And, we're talking about trying to build some sort of a reserve fund too, and how's both of those gonna happen?
I mean, it's a combination of thing. It's not like I took 18,000 out of one thing and added it to another. I think, for next year's budget, based on, what we know is actually going to happen as far as the level of students, the teaching assistants, and other things that happen, the new programs, etc. We were able to move money around within our budget so that our total budget has not gone up. We've just reallocated money from other places to make up the 18,000.
Okay.
Any other
All right.
questions?
I guess I would just add one thing, like I've been on the facilities committee in Addison Northwest for a really long time, and anytime there's projects like this and things get rolling, all these other little pieces often crop up, right? And it's kind of timely in that that's the best time to also fix those additional things rather than put them off even longer when you've got this whole project happening already. So it wouldn't seem prudent to like not do the extra things that you spoke about now. I think we should do them now and not put them off because they're just going to cost more money down the road. So that's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Christina. I would also add the security issues, the safety issues, the communication with the barn. There's some things that have been missing right now, and if you've ever gone over there during the daytime, it's a big deal to let people in and out. And we've done that work here, and we need to tie these two buildings together. And this is part of this is going to do that. Any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna call the vote again. We're voting on the number 2, which is the board resolution of North Campus lease. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
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 Okay.
Aye.
Anybody who's opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Thank you. Go back to number 1, approval of the North Campus contract. Any questions about the information that Dave just showed us? Okay, I'm gonna need a motion to vote on that.
So moved to approve the North Campus contract with the EEI amendment.
Can I have a second, please? Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. Any more questions regarding that?
Was that Vance that seconded? I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, if you give your name before you do that, it's helpful. That's online. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna call the question. All those in favor, please raise your hand in regards to the motion for approval of the North Campus contract with EI.
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Seeing none, that motion carries. Thank you. Next is the electric bus. And
Yeah, so real quickly, we have an opportunity to buy, to take ownership of an electric bus from Fairfax District. This is a bus that electric bus they purchased with 75% funding from the state. I think this was related to additional money that we got, that the state got. Fairfax is looking to get rid of that bus because it really doesn't work with their routes. we've looked at it and are recommending to pursue that. We haven't, I've been working with the superintendent of the Fairfax district to understand some of the ways that we would pay for this bus, this $40,000, including so a few payments over time. The other thing that we could do is look at including this in the lease if we were able to save money in different ways. So what I'm doing is, I guess, I wanted to get your thoughts and opinion on whether we should pursue this opportunity, assuming that, given that, or with the understanding that we have to figure out how to pay for it. What we would use this bus for. So right now we have a bus and a van, the red van and the bus 86 that Aaron Townsend uses almost on a daily basis to go to either the Sugar House or the Woodlot. Currently he's taking two buses, or one bus and a van. The bus is probably got another year of life in it because it's the old bus. We don't think it's going to pass inspection in the next couple of years. And then the red van is on its last leg as well. So this bus being an electric bus, given all the trouble that we've all heard about with electric buses, this is a Bluebird bus. It's not the ones that have been, the company's gone bankrupt. It's not the ones that have burned down. And it would allow us to do that. It would allow Aaron to use that bus instead of having two vehicles. He would have one, and it works well with the short distances back and forth. Vance had a question.
Right, Vince?
How would it get charged?
Great news is because we got a grant for chargers, we already have the chargers and everything is all set up.
There's solar panels somewhere.
We have solar panels. Yep. We have solar panels that are in part of main campus that already contribute to our electric. We don't make enough solar to pay for our entire electric bill here at main campus. So it would be an addition to our electric bill, even though we probably have I'd say a 30 or 40% subsidy from the solar on our total electric.
Potentially it would be less expensive than gas then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and I unfortunately have been on vacation for a week, and Bill Biederman and I had done some cost analysis of this, and looking at the cost of a new short bus and or a van and the maintenance of the van, assuming that we could make the bus inspectable, the cost of this the cost of the purchase of the van pays for itself within the, I think it was 8 years.
David, does the board need to make a decision on something about this today, or can this be a larger discussion at our actual regularly? If it's time sensitive, then I'd want it, we're already over time on this meeting is my concern.
Yeah, we can just hold off on this until, what we intended to do was the facilities committee wanted to meet and make a recommendation.
I'm gonna ask that it go to facilities first.
Okay.
And let them, ask these obviously very good questions, compared to the new bus, do we have storage? I mean, I'm just putting out my own questions that I have, but rather than take the time now, just put it on the agenda for the next meeting, gives you all time it gives us time maybe to hear from Bill too, which would
Sounds
help.
good.
So I'm gonna table this until the next meeting. Do I need approval from them to do this?
I would think You need a motion, yeah.
So
Make the
let's,
motion.
can I have a motion, please, to table this to the next board meeting and put it on the agenda?
I move that we table the electric bus until the next full board meeting.
Thank you, Steve. A second?
All right, second it,
Okay,
the motion, this is Vance.
thank you, Vince. Alrighty, all those in favor? Of tabling,
Aye.
the next meeting, thank you.
Aye.
All right,
Sorry.
Aye.
but anybody opposing?
Hmm.
Seeing none, we're gonna table it to the next meeting. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is a personnel action.
This, so this is actually a time-sensitive issue. I would have put it on our regular board agenda. However, at this time in the school year, when I have non-returning staff, we need to get busy on recruiting right away, and waiting another 2 or 3 weeks would be problematic for us. We did have one of our staff members, our culinary arts instructor, who did not return her contract. So at this time, the position is open, and I just need the board to take action on that the position is now open, so that I can begin advertising and recruiting for the position. So this is a personnel action to open the position of culinary arts for the 26-27 school year.
Make that motion, John.
Thank you. Second?
Second, Steve Orzek.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions that we can talk about? If we can't, we'll let you know. Alrighty, all those in favor of this action, please raise your hand or say aye.
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 Anybody
Aye.
opposed?
So I don't like, I don't.
What was that? We didn't hear, somebody said something we didn't hear?
I was just voting in the affirmative.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, so that motion carries. It allows Nicole to go ahead and post that.
Is that gonna be a part-time job next year?
Correct. Next year it will be a 0.5 FTE, 0.55 actually FTE.
Okay.
Do you have anybody, this is Dan, do you have anybody interested yet? Are there any waves
haven't.
out there?
And post it.
We haven't even started reaching out yet because I needed the board to take action first.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is just public comment about any of the agenda items that we've discussed or anything else. I think we're good.
Somebody's at work.
Nobody's at work. Anyway, seeing none, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Dan Rosenthal.
Thank you. And second from Judd, Christina.
Thanks.
I very much appreciate all of your time today. It's not very often that we call a special meeting, only when we have time-sensitive issues that can't wait till the next meeting. So thank you very much for coming on today.
Okay,
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Yep.
all right. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye all.
Aye.